I know you might be struggling to get started. You may be having a tough time trying to decide which is the best workout routine for you to get started with. You may also be having a struggle trying to find out and determine which is the best eating approach or diet that you can get started with and to stay committed to. In fact, you may be spending more time watching videos and advertisements on social media than actually doing anything about it. That's why today I'm going to be sharing with you some tips on defeating the number one most important roadblock that is stopping you from where you want to be in your weight loss journey. That roadblock is you. Let's dive in. Welcome to episode 21 of the LeRock Show, where I'm here to help you get your fitness back on track at any age and regardless of your current fitness level, so you can spend more quality time with your families, have a brighter outlook on life, and finally find the true joy that life has to offer. I'm your host, LeRock. I'm feeling reflective today and humble as I look back at my own health and fitness journey. And I'm super excited to be able to be here again today to share with you some of my tips and tricks, some of my life's hard-earned lessons, in hope that I can help you to get to where you want to be much quicker and prevent you the pain and anguish that I went through. For those of you listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thanks for listening and thanks for the reviews each week, because it really does help me get my message out there. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for not giving up on yourself. Thanks for sticking to it and giving yourself some importance. I'm cheering for you each week because I know that this information that I'm sharing with you, if implemented correctly, can serve as a catalyst for helping you to find that healthy version of you. That version of you that you deserve to be. And as always, I look forward to your comments and feedback because it has a big impact on this channel. In case you haven't noticed, there aren't any videos yet of me taking you through some sort of workout routine or of me taking you into my kitchen where I'm cooking some nutritious meals that you can follow along with. Have you ever found yourself asking yourself the question as you watch my videos, when is Ethan ever going to get around to putting an exercise video out there that I can follow so that I can finally lose some weight? Well, if that is the case, it's okay. That is exactly what you're supposed to be thinking based on what has been propagated and marketed towards you for your entire lifetime. Whenever it comes to health and fitness, we've all been trained that in order to find the solution to our health and fitness, we should go out and seek out some sort of exercise routine, some sort of nutrition plan, some sort of secret formula, some sort of pill, some sort of gadget. It's all been marketed towards us so that we can be good consumers and go out and buy products, right? That's what you're supposed to believe. Well, my obligation to you is on a much higher level than that. After all, you want results, don't you? So rather than show you the usual bunch of workout videos and workout routines and different tips and tricks on how you can hit different body parts, or spend hours talking about nutrition and showing you different cooking approaches and showing you beautifully shot pictures and shots of myself working out and training in the gym, my number one focus each and every week is to help you defeat the number one most important roadblock that may be holding you back from getting what you want, from losing the weight, from becoming that healthy version of you. And unfortunately, that roadblock is you. But before we get into that, I want to give you a free gift that can help you kick that weight loss up a notch. Long story short, I spent the majority of my life studying health and fitness, trying out various fitness routines and different nutrition approaches. And by my late teens, I was in amazing shape. However, even with all that knowledge and education that I had acquired, I found myself at the age of 26 in the state of obesity for the first time. And what did I do? I kicked it up a notch. I started training like a madman. I trained like 2 to 3 hours a day. I went on very, very strict calorie counting diet, and I was able to shed all the weight again. But guess what happened? 9 years later, I found myself in the state of obesity yet again. But the second time is what made all the difference. I started asking myself some real thought-provoking questions. And the result is I created a roadmap that I used to get myself out of this state of obesity once and for all. And years later, I decided to write a book so that I could help and share with others how they too can also get themselves out of a state of obesity for a lifetime. That book was called Fit Anyway, The 9 Simple Directives to Win at Weight Loss and Change Your Life Forever. I also created an online course where I help hand walk the student through the whole process of Fit Anyway. So with Fit Anyway Academy, the student gets weekly homework that they follow along as they watch the videos, ensuring they get from not knowing anything about health and fitness, assuming they know nothing, to getting to the end where they're at their destination. Well, part of this training includes directive number 3, automate your plate. It's a simple yet effective eating approach that I use to get myself out of a state of obesity once and for all. I ended up shedding 65 pounds in 13 weeks, and I managed to keep it off for more than 15 years now. The advantages of this eating approach is that it provides you all the answers that you are looking for. It describes what you should eat, but it also gives you great control of many of the things that are on your plate. It also defines how often you should eat, what those portion sizes should be, and it has automation baked right into it. And the cool thing is it allows you to eat more frequently than you ever have before, all while shedding significant amounts of weight. It is truly a win-win eating approach. Now, those that have tried it and followed it correctly have had excellent results. So yes, I put together a free step-by-step checklist that steps you through the entire Automate Your Plate process, allowing you to use it as your very own quick start guide so you can begin using it and benefiting from it today. The Automate Your Plate checklist takes everything that I teach on this directive in the book and in my online course, and it simplifies it all down into a single page cheat sheet. So you don't need to read the book, you don't need to take the online course, and you can still begin benefiting from it today. For those of you listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just go to ethanlerock.com/automate. And if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a link down below that you can click on and you can get it there. And seriously, the download costs you nothing. And it could just be the one thing that makes all the difference in your weight loss journey. Okay, each week I share with you my own unique perspective on weight loss, on health and fitness, and life in general. My perspective that psychology is the number one most important thing that helps to determine whether you are successful in your endeavors in life or whether you fail in your endeavors in life. But you still may be asking yourself, Ethan, how is it that psychology is the most important thing when it comes to my health and fitness? I just don't quite get it. So today, I decided to dig deeper and share with you my perspective and why I've come to this conclusion about psychology. Now, this is based on a lifetime, more than 39 years now, of health and fitness experience. And I'm going to be talking to you specifically today about this idea that you are the number one roadblock that may be getting in the way of those things that you desire in life. So I'm going to talk to you about the typical path, the typical process that a person goes through when it comes to wanting to lose weight or become a healthier person. The first thing that happens is usually there's some sort of realization that takes place, right? We realize that we need to lose some weight for whatever reason, and there's internal reasons that happens. You know, maybe we just feel very unhealthy, and we realize we have aches and pains everywhere, we're heavy set, we're not the same as we used to be, things have gotten out of hand, and internally, we know that we need to lose some weight. Okay, so some realization there. It may be a vanity thing as well. Maybe we don't like what we're seeing in the mirror. There's also external things that cause us to have a realization. Maybe we find out that people are poking fun at us because we're heavy set, or maybe someone says something and they don't really mean it, but they hurt our feelings. They say something about our weight, maybe not intentionally or intentionally. And regardless of the reason, whether it be internal and external, we come up with the determination that we need to lose some weight. And we start thinking about it, and we start kind of focusing, what can I do? We get on the internet, We pull up a search engine and we type in the best way to lose weight, best workout routine to lose weight, or we look into, what's the best diet or eating approach that I can use, to lose weight, or even worse, you might look up what kind of pill can I take, best diet pill to lose weight. And we might start watching videos. We might start watching hour upon hour of fitness videos, where there's a beautiful fitness model or a person like a host of a show who's putting you through all kinds of workout routines that affect and impact different parts of your body. And we may find that we're spending a lot of time watching cooking shows where there's someone taking you through and showing you some sort of nutrition plan that works for them and walking you through the whole process of how to cook those foods. And the common thing that happens to many people is that they keep watching these videos. Maybe they're listening to a podcast. Maybe they're following and watching some sort of cook show that's based on good balanced nutrition, how to eat right. But the problem is they may not be taking any action themselves when it comes to taking back their health and fitness. The truth is they may find themselves stuck, not able to move forward. They may have a gym membership, but maybe they just can't take that step and get into the gym, at least not on a consistent basis. They might just pepper it, they might work out once in a while and then not work out. And then once they start feeling junky about themselves, work out again and then not work out. And same with their eating approach. They may find that they just can't get momentum. They can't get past day 3 on their diet. And they just keep floundering and finding themselves back to where they began. Well, that's exactly where I spent a good portion of my life. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of my story so you can understand how I determined this perspective that psychology is the number one most important thing. And therefore, you are the number one biggest roadblock that's standing in between you and that beautiful fit person that you want to be. You see, I had started studying health and fitness at the very young age of 13. And I was doing a lot of things correctly. I was eating correctly. I was hitting the gym and I was working out correctly. I was getting enough rest. After I learned by making some mistakes, I learned that, you had to get adequate rest and you had to make sure that your nutrition was balanced. And I was doing all these things right. So from a scientific or a biological standpoint, I was doing what basically was being taught out there, okay? I was hitting the muscles. I was allowing them time to rest. I was feeding my body properly so that it could rejuvenate and build upon itself. And I was doing pretty good. But then what happened in 1996, I found myself in the state of obesity for the first time. And we're talking really bad show. I was overweight. I was obese, which means I was about 30% or more body fat. I had a round face. I had high blood pressure. I just felt disgusted in myself. I hated shopping for clothes. I hated all aspects of summertime and being out and being exposed, having to go to the beach and walk along and my stomach's hanging out. And I just keep telling myself, oh, next year I'll be in shape next year. I'll get started next year. And I just found myself floundering, even with all this knowledge and experience I had in my head. And when I did sit down one day and come to the realization, and it was a terrible year. I remember that year like it was yesterday. I decided to change. So I started hitting the gym again. I started putting in 2 to 3 hours a day at the gym. I was weighing my food, counting all my calories, doing all the things that I had been trained to do. And I lost all the weight. I did. And I got my muscles back. I did. But guess what happened? 9 years later, I was on a roller coaster ride, going up and down with my weight. I had high blood pressure. I had anxiety. And then I would kick my butt in the gym again and get myself back in shape. And I just kept doing this to myself. It was like a roller coaster ride, up and down, up and down, up and down. And you may be there too. And what happened to me? I became obese again. 9 years later, I found myself in the state of obesity again. And what I did that time is what made all the difference. Okay, there's many reasons, there's many things that impacted why I decided to make a difference. I actually allowed myself to step back and ask some really tough questions. So that's going to be my homework for you today. I'm going to be asking you to get out a piece of paper or a journal and ask yourself some of these very same tough questions. Rather than tell you what you should do, okay? Rather than talk you through what I think that you should do, I'd rather ask you to ask yourself some probing and personal questions when it comes to your health and fitness. So please get out a paper or journal and follow along. Now, the questions that you come up with are really up to you. But the questions that I asked myself were as follows. I felt horrible about life. I was sad. I felt hopeless. I was severely overweight. I was obese. I couldn't run. I could walk, but I couldn't run. And I just felt very defeated in life. And what I did this second time that I was obese is I stepped back and I asked myself, why is it that I can't stay on track? Why is it that I keep finding myself back here? Okay, those are two questions. You may want to write those down and ask yourself the same question. I asked myself, why am I constantly quitting on myself? What is it within me about my psychology and my life experience so far that tells me that each time I come into a challenge that I quit on myself, that I become complacent, and that I'm no longer excited about this thing that I'm doing, and that I don't give it enough importance, and therefore I stop doing it, and I keep finding myself back here, out of shape and overweight. So some more questions I think you should ask yourself are as follows. Are watching these videos that I'm watching, these videos I'm watching on YouTube or social media, of these fitness models, these beautiful fitness models working out, are all these hours that I'm spending watching this, are they benefiting me in any way? Am I implementing any of the activities that I'm watching them do? Now, this could be a real eye-opening question to answer because many people spend a huge amount of time watching and analyzing and looking for the perfect workout routine, and they get attracted by the beautiful model that's showing them and taking them through the routine, and they get this feeling of almost like they feel like they're almost doing it because they're watching it, and they're feeling excited about the possibilities of what they might have in their life, but they're not actually taking the next step. They're not actually jotting things down like I've been asking you to do. They're not jotting things down on paper and putting together their own plan that's going to change their life, that's going to make it so that they look the way they want to look and feel the way they want to feel. You may want to ask yourself, is searching for that miraculous new eating approach or diet really going to change my life? Is it really going to help me lose the weight? It's an important question because otherwise you may find yourself searching for a new diet for the rest of your life over and over and over again. And what you may want to ask yourself is, why is it that I can't stay committed to an eating approach or a diet? What is it within me that is stopping me from maintaining consistency on a regular basis? What are my thoughts and my perceptions on the importance of nutrition? What is my mindset? What have I learned so far about diet and nutrition? And have I implemented that into my life? Am I following a balanced diet? Am I getting my nutrition on point for 80% of the time of my life? Am I eating correctly? And if the answer to that is no, then you need to start, again, each time you get an answer, it should pose another question. Another thing I'd like you to do is take a step back. Okay, we're talking about psychology today because psychology is the number one most important thing. And I refer to that each week, but I don't really dive deep into it because it's very difficult for many people to absorb, especially when it comes to something that they're trying to correct on the physical level. This idea that psychology could be what's holding them back, a lot of people have a hard time connecting that. So you may want to ask yourself, is spending all this time watching videos on the internet, searching out different eating approaches, is it something that I'm doing in order to find the answer? Or is it also something I'm doing just to comfort myself so that I feel like I'm doing something? Okay, so I'm giving myself comfort by watching these videos and telling myself, I'm going to do this. This is something I'm going to implement one day soon. So we're giving ourselves the relief, right? The relief and the feeling of comfort, while also avoiding doing the actual work, doing the work that it requires. Because watching the videos and researching on the internet and looking up different eating approaches and researching it and analyzing it to death is not going to get you the results you want. Putting action and before you even put action, putting a plan in place and then following through with action, that's the key. That's what changes everything. So you might want to ask yourself, how can I take control of this thing, take control of this health and fitness endeavor? How can I lose the weight? How can I get to the gym more consistently or get to my exercise more consistently? What are some steps that I can put into my life and really give it the time it deserves? Sit down with a piece of paper and write out these questions. So many times I ask people, get out a journal or get out a piece of paper and write out these questions. But many people don't follow through and do this activity because it takes work again. And the strange and sad thing is that if people would just take the time to go through the steps and trust in the process, then they would find themselves in a much better place because it makes action occur in your life. And that's where the real truth is. It's not the diet. It's not the workout routine. It's the action we take in our lives. It's the way we think in our minds, the importance we put on things. And when it comes to your health and fitness, how important is it to you? There's a question. How important is your health and fitness to you? What does it impact? What does it affect in your life? Write it down. Write out some answers. Ask yourself, if I was in really good shape today, how different would my life be? What impact could I have on those around me? How much better would I feel? So those are some ideas of questions you can ask. But the most important thing you need to start understanding is your psychology is the number one most important thing that could be holding you back from where you want to be. It can also be helping you to succeed at what you want to achieve as well. Psychology is a determining factor. It's what we focus on. It's how we think about things. It's how we feel about things. It's about what we decide not to focus on in our lives and not to take seriously in our lives. That's what makes all the difference. The reason I'm here today in really good shape, after more than 15 years now, coming out of a state of obesity for a second time, the reason that is not because I found the miraculous workout routine, is not because I found the miraculous diet. It's because I decided to take charge of my psychology. I decided to understand and control the way I was thinking about exercise, the way I was thinking and feeling about nutrition, the amount of focus and effort that I wanted to put into my health and fitness, and my decision to stop letting things just go on autopilot. When I decided to put a plan in place, when I decided to ask myself these reflective questions, and then take the answers that I got from these questions because there are golden nuggets in those answers when you ask yourself. The problem is I can't give you the answers. That's the truth. As a health and fitness trainer and online course provider and author, there are many things that I've learned in life and that I share and that I teach. But the true answers to your situation, they're inside here. They're inside you. And you need to pull them out, is what I'm getting at. You need to stop being the roadblock that's getting in your way. You need to become your own motivator. You need to become the person that has your health and fitness in mind and is strategic about how to get the best results possible. So once you have all these questions written down, I want you to take the time to seriously sit down and write out some answers. And keep coming back to those questions, especially the tough questions, until you have some answers kind of written out. You need to think through it. And whatever you do, don't ignore the painful questions. You know, those questions that you ask yourself that you're just like, I just don't want to go there. That's too much work. You know, there's too much pain involved in that question. Those are the questions that I urge you to spend the most time with until you get some answers. In fact, what I find, the most painful questions that we can ask ourselves usually have the greatest potential for making change in our lives. And the last thing that I would encourage you to do is once you have all these questions written out, and I mean spend some time doing this, you'll be amazed at the benefit you get from it. Write out your answers. And once you have these answers, I want you to also strategically step back, like you're your own coach, looking over your shoulder, and say to yourself, okay, so all these things you've written down, they're telling us a story. They're telling us a story about how you feel, about how you think about your health and fitness, about some ideas of roadblocks that you've put into your life, why you're still stuck in this rut, and maybe some ideas on how you can get out of it. And those ideas should include your nutrition. They should include your exercise, of course. They should include your rest, of course. These are all just no-brainer things that everybody knows out there on the internet. You know, anybody that knows anything about health and fitness, you need to move more, you need to eat less, you need to get good hydration, you need to get good sleep. You may want to use a little bit of supplementation, but those are not the important things. That fitness routine that you're watching is not the answer. Yeah, it is something that you can use and incorporate into your own fitness routine, but it's not the answer to why you can't lose weight and why you can't keep it off. The answer to that is much deeper, and it's your psychology. So what I'm suggesting is you step back from this and you look at all your answers that you've written down. Okay, you've pried out some gold nuggets right there by taking the time to ask these questions and maybe come up with some solutions. And what I encourage you to do is to take this information and create your personal plan for your personal life that should include your health and fitness. And I've taken some of the previous videos, I've actually described exactly how to do that, how to chunk out your day and how to write out your plan. And it should include your daily, weekly, monthly plan. And if you want to be really crazy, you could do a yearly plan, but at least monthly for your weight loss goals, for things you want to do. And you should have a schedule, not just a woo-woo, these are the big things that I'd like to do. This is my dream. I want to lose 100 pounds or whatever it might be. But it needs to be, so say it is, I want to lose 100 pounds. Okay. When do you want to lose that by? Okay. How are you going to do it? Well, you're going to have some sort of exercise routine, right? And how are you going to know if you've lost the 100 pounds? Well, you're going to have to start assessing yourself at least once a week on how much weight you've lost. So say it's 10 months from now, you want to lose, 100 pounds, then you need to step it back 10 months so that you know exactly how much weight you need to lose per day. So you can have a really good control on this thing, give it some analysis on a regular basis, and make fine adjustments when necessary. Because that is as simple as it gets. That's the whole key. This psychology thing I keep talking about, I'm not talking about it as a general idea of perspective. I'm talking about it strategically, using your psychology to your own benefit, being in control of these things that you're thinking, putting some action in place, no longer just making statements that are subjective, like I'd like to lose a few pounds, or, oh, I don't like the way I look in this shirt, or, all these things we come up with, but actually putting some strategic plans in place and then following through, being your own cheerleader, being there to motivate yourself when you need to be motivated. On days when you're tired, like me, for example, there's many times where I would be driving home from work and I'm tired. I've worked a hard day. I have a normal life like anyone else. I work full time. I've raised a family. I pay the bills. I have a mortgage. All these wonderful things that we all have, right? But as I'm getting closer to the gym, I have a decision to make. I could say, you know what, I'm just tired. I'm taking today off. I'm going to go sit on the couch because I deserve it. I just killed myself at work today. I have nothing left. When you start allowing yourself to believe that you have that choice to not go, or, I'm just stopping at the fast food joint on the way home because I'm starving and I just need to eat something right now, and I'll eat right. I'll start eating right tomorrow. When you start having this conversation with yourself, that's when you need to nip it in the butt. You need to really nip it in the butt, because those little decisions we make on a daily basis, they make all the difference. So I hope you understand a little better today at what I'm getting at when I say that you're the number one roadblock that may be stopping you from where you want to be with your weight loss and your fitness. It's not the workout routine, is it? It's not really the diet either, is it? It's what you've been thinking. It's what you've been ignoring. It's the lack of insight, the lack of ability to sit and put some importance on it and create a plan. Because it's not that hard. It really isn't. It's right there waiting for you. A lifetime of health and fitness, of feeling great, of not having sore ankles and sore knees and a sore lower back, and not being able to go up a flight of stairs without breathing like crazy, and to be able to participate in your children or your grandchildren's lives, be able to run and laugh and giggle and have good times. Those things are all possible, but you need to determine if they're important to you. And if they are important to you, then you need to figure your way out of this thing. Only you can get you out. Watching me on a video isn't going to get you out. Watching that fitness dude out there training and following, hoping you're going to follow along, that's not going to get you out either. It's having your own plan in place for your health and fitness. Your nutrition plan, your exercise plan, getting enough rest, making sure you're drinking enough water, supplementing where you need to supplement. But the most important thing is having that plan in the first place. So in summary, the most important roadblock that prevents most people from losing weight and having a healthy life is not whether they're doing the perfect workout routine or whether they found the best eating approach or diet. The biggest roadblock is them. It's you. It's the way you think. It's the way you feel. It's the things you think about or don't think about. It's your psychology. And once you realize that, you've just been given the greatest gift, the ability to know and understand what the root cause is of the problem, your psychology, and how you think and feel about health and fitness. How much energy you allow yourself to sit down and take the time to write out a plan for you, for this amazing new life that you want. This life where you've lost all the weight, where you're healthy and fit, full of joy, full of happiness, feeling optimistic about the road ahead and the life you're going to have in your future. Now, the truth is that you are the main thing that stands between you and that beautiful fit version of you that's waiting on the other side. And my advice to you is to ask yourself, what am I willing to do today to make that happen? Not what can I do, but what am I willing to do and I'm committed to do today to take back my life, to lose the weight and become that healthy version of me that I know I can be. Now, I know this is some deep information to absorb this week, and like many things in life, sometimes the greatest solutions come from the toughest questions we have to ask ourselves. And if one of your questions is, where can I find a balanced and easy to follow eating approach that has automation built into it? Then that I can help you with. As I shared earlier, I created my very own eating approach more than 15 years ago now, called Automate Your Plate. And I've followed it every day since. It's one of the main reasons, one of the key directives in my book, and one of the main reasons I've been able to keep the weight off all these years. And I put together a free Automate Your Plate checklist that you can begin using today to help you step through the entire process of automating your plate. It's the exact same eating approach that I've been following for more than 15 years now. The Automate Your Plate checklist cuts out all the confusion, and it provides a paint by numbers kind of approach, stepping you through the entire process for automating your plate. And it's easy as download it, print it, and start following each of the steps one step at a time. No thinking required. Just go to ethanlerock.com/automate and you can download it there. And if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below. You can click on it and you can get it there too. Now, I know for a fact that this week's episode is not like anything you would see on a health and fitness or a weight loss channel. I understand that, and it's intentional. I believe that the information I shared with you today has 1,000 times more potential for helping you to finally lose the weight, finally get the momentum you're looking for, finally get your butt back into the gym or whatever exercise routine that you want to do. I believe the information in today's video has 1,000 times more potential than a video that I could create of me exercising in the gym, or me cooking in my kitchen, or me breaking down the calorie count of every piece and morsel that I'm putting in my mouth so that you can copy my diet. Trust me, that's not where the answers are at. The answers are in the video that I've just made today, the one that you just watched. This video holds the key. So I encourage you to rewind the video, pause it where necessary, ask the tough questions, and determine and create your own roadmap, your own personal plan to getting things the way you want them to be in life. Now, feel free to leave me some comments on today's episode. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you disagree? Do you think this whole psychology thing isn't the reason why people can't lose weight, or do you believe it is? I'd be interested in your perspective on it. I am thankful and I am honored today that once again I was able to share with you another one of life's little tips and tricks that I've learned the hard way, so that I can benefit you, so that I can help you find that answer you've been looking for taking back your life, for losing the weight, for finding your health and fitness, and for maintaining it for a lifetime. That's my goal here. That's why I'm here every week. It's because of you. I want you to have the best outcome possible. I look forward to the day when you leave me a comment that says, this video is what changed everything for me. This is the one that made me take action. This is the one that helped me implement change in my life once and for all. Now have an awesome remainder of the week. And until we meet again, stay healthy, be happy, and live your life with intention every single day.